Well, I think I have the helm today. Tamara texted me this morning. I don't know what she had going on, so it's just me and you guys. And I was just going to jump in and kind of share a little bit of our missions trip over the last week and a half. Um, some things that really challenged me over the last week, and I want to share this with you. And y'all spend some time with me. Y'all know I generally have the same concept. When I talk about a lot of things, it comes back and this trip really put, I guess, the word on it. Our season of life that we went through when we stepped out of the church we were in, went through, and as I've shared with you guys before, when we started the home church, which has now become the founder um, collective, and then getting back into church, really honing in on the importance of what I believe is where church has missed it, and that is what we're doing right here, sitting at the table. And over the course of those couple of weeks, we got invited into this trip. Our kids, in the season of life we've been in our church, our youth group was kind of small. And I could tell you the backstory. But when we came to this church, the youth group was kind of in shambles because of something the last pastor and the youth leader had done. Um, so we had been building it back, and it through the course of some years, some leaders in and out. So our kids were kind of missing something that was, as you're growing anything, y'all know if you're growing something, it's hard to be fed by it. So it was hard for us to see that. So we had an open door for our kids to be involved in another church's youth group discipleship program. So it wasn't during on Sundays, it was on Wednesday night, every other Wednesday night. So we got them involved in this and connected, and it really answered a prayer for Morgan and I. Being a pastor's son, one of the things I look back over my life and struggle with is that I feel like sometimes I had a dad, or I had a pastor, but I didn't have a dad. There were some things that I probably couldn't have went and talked to my dad about because I would have got the pastoral response. And I even struggled with that as a dad when we started having kids. Morgan and I had conversations from anything from, we had a friend of ours whose child came to them and said they were gay. And Morgan said, well, what do we do if our kids have that? And I said, well, I'm going to open up the Bible and show them where it's wrong. And she goes, then they're never going to talk to you about it. And it really opened my eyes to the power of conversation and my desire to be a dad. I'm still a pastor, and they still going to get that, but never sacrificing that for being pastor. So it was a season of life where we'd really been, as our kids are all teenagers now, not wanting to be our kids' pastors, but wanting to be their parents. And God opened this door for them to be a part of this ministry and really brought some powerful people in their life to help them. So as they were preparing for this mission trip, we got invited to be chaperones, which all of you, when you lead something all the time, it is nice not to have to lead it and plan it and just say, yeah, I'm coming. I'll drive a van. I'll do whatever you want me to do. Where are we supposed to be? Sure, I'll be there. So for a week and a half, we get to come and be the crazy camp counselors, if you will, the crazy bus drivers. Really got to connect with some of these kids that our kids have become friends with. So we were all in and really got to see something. And I'm going to use this term, and I really want to challenge you to begin to see moments of impact, see opportunities in your own life. And that term is missional living. How many of you have you ever heard of that? If you want to put in the chat thread, Christine, have you ever heard of that word? Okay, I think you have. You just haven't heard it in that terminology. Because have you read the four Gospels? Okay, so everything Jesus did was living missionally. If you think about every breath we see Jesus take in the four Gospels, even as a child, right? Remember when he got disconnected from Mary and Joseph and he ends up in the tabernacle and he's teaching. Jesus' whole life was all about living missionally. At no point was his life never not on mission. From 0 to 33, from the moment he took his last breath and said, it is finished, everything he did was on mission from heaven, doing what God had called him to do. And really what he was challenging these 12 men that he invited along for this journey to witness his life, to see a living example, was to do the same thing. Even when he came back after he died on the cross and he resurrected, the challenge to them was not come follow me. It was now go and do what I've shown you how to do.